Excuse me. Hi, my name is Beverly Days, and I'm here with my granddaughter. She is helping me with my language acquisition class for my graduate program. And we are going to discuss picture language. Now, Tanaja is not familiar with the word picture language. The word that you guys use in school is what?
Storyboard.
So they use storyboard in school. And when I explained to her what picture language is, she says, "Oh, I know, we do that at school. I did a project a couple of weeks ago. I made a picture language on a paper." So we are going to do this. And I told Tanaja I want her to keep her thinking cap on. I want her to think about all the details, everything that we said and we read in the story, the warning. And in the word think, because I want her to think, can you find me a word in the word think?
Ink.
Oh, we have ink.
N.
N.
Think.
The word think itself.
And
When I want to be really THIN.
then.
So she actually found one N, ink. Then she had the word think itself and thin. And what do we have here? What is the ing?
In.
And what does ing tells us? It's an action word. It's action. So when you're running, you're jumping, you're thinking, and that's what I want you to do. Think about what we're going to do today for our picture language. Okay? So we've already read the story, the warning. And what we're trying to do is make sure we do a picture chart, a picture language, where someone else can come and they can look at our picture and they can figure out what the story is about. It's just like if we did the Three Little Pigs. Okay? If you do the Three Little Pigs, the first part of the story is always once upon a time, on a hot sunny day, there was a pig. And then it will show you do the little son and you do the little pig, and he's a walking. And he's thinking about he has to build a house. Okay? So this is the same concept that we're doing. Instead of Three Little Pigs, we're doing it with the word warning. The activity warning. Okay, so first of all, who is the main characters of the warning, the story?
Ronnie and Mr. Burns.
Okay, so the Ronnie and Mr. Burns. Okay, so those are the main characters in the story. And Ronnie is who? Is what does Ronnie do?
He works in the airport factory.
Okay, he works at the airport factory. Okay, very good. And what does Mr. Burns do?
He's the head of the job.
The job, which is called Human Resource Office. Do you know what a Human Resource Office is? What they do? They're the ones that help keep people together at the job. They do the hiring for the job. They make sure all the paperwork. They take attendance. They keep records of all the employees. They make sure that the company policies are known to all employees, and that the company is treating the employees fairly, and the employees is doing what they're supposed to be doing. Okay, and actually the HR place on human resource is similar to what? Can you think of a place?
The school.
Your school, your office. It's like your principal is the head, and he does the hiring, and he can also do the what? He can do the firing. He can let people go. He can say, okay, I don't want this teacher at my job anymore because she's not doing a good job. And the people in the office, they take what? Attendance. So if you're out, they're the ones that mark you're out if you are
Tardy.
if you're tardy, if you're sick, whatever, if you transfer out of the school, they're the ones that do all the paperwork. So the school office is similar to human resource. Okay? Now, at the beginning, the first block What picture would we like to put in to explain our story about the warning?
Ronnie in bed calling to the
Okay. So Ronnie's in bed. So let me see. Can I draw this picture here? Ronnie's in bed. Here's his bed. So is Ronnie in bed at home or at the job? Where's Ronnie in bed at?
home.
Oh, so let's see. So I drew Ronnie in bed, and then he's on the phone. Does that look like a telephone? Okay. So Ronnie's in bed, and what do you think Ronnie's telling his job?
Then he's not going because he's sick.
Okay, so let's put a little bubble here, and we say Ronnie says, what did Ronnie tell them?
Ronnie says,
He says, I'm not coming in.
I'm not coming in. I'm sick.
And what did the people say to Ronnie when he called?
They said it's okay.
Yeah, they told him it was okay. Don't worry about it. So he called in sick. So let's see. He called in the factory. Where the picture? He called in over here, and so this is his job, right? So this is the name of the job is the airplane factory. So we're just gonna put factory. I'll draw a little airplane. Look, airplane. Thank you. So he called and told them that he was sick. Okay, so the second frame. What do you think happened in the second frame?
Ronnie, he's driving and he waves at the guard. And when he walks into his office, and he sees a note on his desk.
Okay, do you think Ronnie enjoyed working? He liked his job? Okay, so Ronnie goes to work the next day. So Ronnie's driving his car. So does it look like Ronnie's driving?
Mm-hmm.
So Ronnie's driving, and then this is his office up here. Okay. Normally factories don't have that many windows in it. So that's the front door. And this is the guard. This is the guard gate. What does Ronnie do when he see the guard?
He waves.
He waves. So he's waving at him. Hi. When he's coming in. And Ronnie parks his car. Okay. And then he goes into the building. Okay. What do you think happens on the third frame?
When he walks in there, into his office, he sees a note on his desk.
He walks in his office and he sees a note on his desk. Okay, so Ronnie goes into the office. And he's happy because he's at work. He loves his job, so he's happy. And then he sees a note on his desk. So, wow. And Ronnie hasn't been to work in a while, so let's get the note. And the note says what?
Ronnie, come to Mr. Burns' office right away.
Okay. So Ronnie sees a note. And the note says, So Ronnie reads the note. And it says,
Ronnie, come to Mr. Burns' office right away.
Mr. Burns' office right away. Wow. What do you think? How do you think Ronnie felt?
He felt nervous.
Yeah, because to see a note on your desk and someone tells you come see Mr. Burns right away. So he felt a little nervous. So what do you think he did next?
Next, he walked up down the hallway and went to Mr. Burns' office.
Okay, so he went to Mr. Burns' office, and where was the office? What is the name of the office again? Do you remember?
The resources.
The Human Resource Office? Okay, so he goes to the office, and he walks to the office, and when he gets to the office, what does he do?
The lady says, "Have a seat."
Okay, so he sees the receptionist. Okay, so here's the receptionist is over here, and this is Human Resource Office. And the receptionist sitting behind the desk. And she tells Ronnie to do what?
Have a seat.
To have a seat. So Ronnie sits down. And what is Ronnie looking at when he sits down?
The door.
The door, he says, what does it say? Ronnie kept looking up at the clock. So he was looking at the clock. Why was he looking at the clock?
Because it felt like it took hours.
Because it felt like it took hours. So Ronnie made it to the office. And we're going to say most times people go into work about 7 in the morning. Okay, and Ronnie is looking at the clock. Does Ronnie look happy?
No.
Do you think how do you think Ronnie feels?
He's quite.
Excuse me.
He almost feels upset because
I'm putting a little nervous sweats on him because if you're nervous, sometimes you sweat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's sitting there. Does he look happy? No. He looks nervous. And he keeps looking at the clock. And what did Ronnie say? That when he kept looking at the clock, it was only 10 minutes, but it looked like what?
It felt like it was hours.
It felt like it was hours. So time was ticking, 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 ticking. Excuse me. And then I forgot. The receptionist told him, have a seat. He told him to have a seat. So in the fifth scene, so first of all, we have Ronnie was in bed. Ronnie called in sick. So we're just thinking that he's in bed if you call in sick. because he wouldn't be out playing basketball or doing that other stuff, right? And then Ronnie drove to work. Over here, Ronnie goes into his office, and then he sees a note. And what else do you think he could probably see on his desk if he was out of work?
His paper.
Paper. So he's probably got, there's probably papers, piled up papers that work that he needs to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But was he able to do it? No. Why was that?
Because he kept calling in that he was sick.
Yeah, he kept calling in that he was sick. So he goes in, he sees the note, and it says, he reads the note, and it says, Ronnie reads the note. Come to Mr. Burns' office right away. And then when he goes to Mr. Burns' office, the receptionist tells him to have a seat. And she's going to get Mr. Burns because he's in the human resource office. And Ronnie is sitting there. Does he look happy? No. And he keeps looking at the clock, and it's ticking and ticking and ticking and ticking. And he thinks, oh, my goodness, and what am I doing here? And also, what did Ronnie say what was on his mind? He was wondering if he was in trouble because what?
He hasn't been working.
Right. So he thought he was in trouble because he had been calling in sick. So what do you think that he thought they were going to tell him?
That he's fired.
That he's fired. So he's probably thinking, I'm fired. Yes. So that's probably what he was thinking. So in the the fifth scene, what did Ronnie do after when he was sitting in the human resource office?
The lady said, Mr. Burns will be with you right now.
Okay, so he went in to see Mr. Barnes, right? So he walked in, and what happened when he went to see Mr. Barnes?
He said, Mr. Barnes said hello, Ronnie, and they both of them shook hands.
Okay, so he went in. He still was a little nervous. He had the little sweat beads on him. I put my little sweat beads because he's still a little nervous. And then here's Mr. And they shook hands, right? And Mr. Burns asked him how he was doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they were talking. And what else did he ask Ronnie?
Has he having problems?
Right, he asked him, so they were talking, and Mr. Burns asked him, he said, hi, Ronnie. Are you okay? Right? Excuse me. He asked him, was he okay? And what did Ronnie say?
He said fine.
He said, fine, but I've been a what?
Sick.
Did he say sick or just a little tired?
A little tired.
Yeah, it says. He says a little tired. So he says a little tired. So they talked. And they talked. They had a long conversation in the room. And Mr. Burns told him, what did he tell him that he needed to do?
Come to work.
Told him he needed to start coming to work.
Mm-hmm.
Did Mr. Burns like Ronnie?
Mm-hmm.
He liked him. He said that Ronnie was a what? Was he a bad worker? Was he a good worker?
He was a good worker.
Right, he was a good worker. So he let Ronnie know that hi Ronnie, are you okay? He was worried about Ronnie. And Ronnie said he was a little tired. And what did Mr. Burns give him?
A warning.
He gave him a warning. So he gave him a warning. And what did the warning say?
It said that, Brian, if you don't start coming in more, the days that you're off, you're gonna get docked.
Right. So did he fire him?
No.
No, he didn't fire him. He gave him a warning, and the warning said, next time. No, he said this is a warning. Right? He said warning. Next time you will not get paid. So he told him he gave him a pink slip, a warning, letting him know that you won't get paid. But he told him that he liked him and to continue working, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think Ronnie did the last scene?
Mr. Burns, he walked Ronnie out.
Excuse me. He did. He walked Ronnie out. And what did Ronnie do?
He went back working.
Right. It doesn't tell us. He just said that Ronnie. It tells us Mr. Burns stood up and walked Ronnie to the door. But because he only got a pink slip, we think that he went back to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think he did? He went to his little desk. So here's his little desk. And those papers that used to be piled up high.
He went back and started doing his work.
So Ronnie went back and started working, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think Ronnie said to himself?
That I could do this.
He said he can do this, but what do you think he said to himself about working when he went back to work?
That I need to stay and work.
Right. That he needs to stay and work, and thank goodness he didn't what?
Fire.
Right. So thankful I didn't get fired. So he's happy. And he's working. And he's working. So we already know that the exposition, the setting of the story, it took place where? At the
airport.
At the airport. And the narrative hook, when Ronnie saw that, what?
Note.
When he saw that note, he got a little nervous. And then after he saw the note, it for the rising action, he was he happy going to see Mr. Burns?
He was a little nervous.
He was a little nervous. He was nervous. And then when he got to the office and he saw Mr. Burns, that would be the what? The climax. When he got to the top and he saw Mr. Burns, and while he was waiting, because he was anxious, he saw Mr. Burns, and that would be the climax. And the falling action would be what? What did they discuss?
That if you don't start working the days that you're off, you're gonna get docked.
Right. And and Ronnie, he told him that he was gonna do what?
His work.
He was gonna do his work, and he was not gonna what?
Stay at home.
He wasn't gonna be calling in.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the title The theme of the story, the title, the warning, would that be a very good name for this story? Yes, it would. And another thing, what other warnings can you get if you were in school?
I could get warnings like during class, like not to talk or to do your work.
Right. And you can just the teacher say, okay, I'm giving you a warning. Okay, but you don't go on the warning list, do you? I didn't think so. Well, I want to say to you, always keep your thinking cap on. And under thinking, you're going to find in, ink, thin, which I'm trying to be, king, that's what Papa is for the house, and your principal at your school, and I'm the princess of this activity. Queen of the activity, you're the princess of the activity. Right? Okay. Well, thank you so much, Tanaja, for helping me with this assignment. And I will give you a lollipop.